Nobody gonna want us to go to their shows, Frank.
Why?
Because we gonna take everything.
Isn't this great? Your flight leaves at 8. Flight lands at 9. My game just rewind.
Isn't this great? My flight leaves at 8.
Riches and diamond rings. Real do real things.
On the road to riches and diamond rings. Real do things.
For a while now, there have been several allegations of Jay-Z stealing music and ideas from his predecessors and other artists, with numerous videos on YouTube being made in support of these claims.
The idea he took.
Perform like Mike, anyone, Tyson, Jordan, Jackson, action, back guns.
Michael, take your pick. Jackson, Tyson, Jordan.
These accusations have also found their way to his wife Beyoncé, who just like him has been accused by a couple of artists of stealing their songs and ideas without asking for their permission or even crediting them. A songwriter even accused her of allegedly taking credits of songs she didn't write.
The song was written 6 years before it got to Beyoncé. She got 25% of the song.
But how do and why do these two big stars steal from other artists and still remain on top? Let's get into it. So recently, songwriter Tiffany Red used her Instagram page to call out Beyoncé for allegedly taking writing and publishing credits on songs that were handed to her. Red first brought attention to the matter after the Grammy Awards, when Jay-Z called out the Recording Academy for repeatedly snubbing Bey in the Album of the Year category.
You know, I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than everyone and never won Album of the Year. So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work.
This show of support from Jay-Z to his wife didn't really sit well with Red, and she posted on her Instagram saying, "Maybe Beyoncé will win the Grammy for Album of the Year when she starts paying Bashan songwriters and stops taking publishing from them. I hear it's around 15%, 30%, BTW. Grammys don't pay the bills." Red then followed up with a call to action, encouraging Beyoncé to modernize her business model and serve as an example of ensuring the safety and longevity of songwriters and producers' music careers. She wrote, "If you modernize your business practices with songwriters and producers, you can help save the livelihood of this profession. Publishing royalties aren't livable anymore unless you write the single, and even then, it has to be massive to make decent money." Red then shared a lengthy video where she named Beyoncé, Zendaya, Tamar Braxton, and more while explaining the power dynamics behind stealing publishing from songwriters. She focused her argument on Beyoncé for the publishing rights she allegedly receives on songs that Red claims other songwriters have written.
The reason why I called out Beyoncé is because Beyoncé is the Michael Jackson of our generation. And so if there's anybody that could reshape the precedent, if there's anybody that could influence the industry.
Red admitted to having never written any songs for Beyoncé because of how much music publishing the Cuff It singer allegedly takes. But she revealed the songs she's written for Zendaya, Tamar Braxton, and Seven Streeter, noting how the latter's song hurt Red, considering Streeter is also a songwriter. However, Streeter received 10% publishing on the song Red, claimed she wrote solely. According to Red, there is no A-list artist, B-list artist, or C-list artist that's not taking publishing, since that is how the music industry works. She then went on to name a few songs off the Renaissance album that Bey allegedly had no involvement in writing, yet walked away with 25% publishing or more. Red blamed NDAs for this and said the Break My Soul singer has her staff sign them, which keeps them quiet.
The reason why people who work for Beyoncé don't talk is because they're all on NDAs. Because that's also how she works. She silences people so that nobody can speak.
The songwriter attributed the power dynamics within the music industry that silences songwriters and allows publishing to be stolen, impacting the livelihood of songwriters and producers. She claimed that while Beyoncé represents Black excellence, she allegedly exploits the Black artists who are writing for her. In a since-deleted post, Red shared a text message screenshot where one songwriter accused Beyoncé and Usher of taking between 25% to 30% of publishing despite not writing a song. Due to Red's accusations, the public then went on a deep dive on all the stealing accusations Beyoncé and her husband have been linked to. Starting with the allegations that Beyoncé allegedly stole Baby Boy from Jennifer Armour. This went to court, but Jennifer did not win because it's very hard to prove whose song it was first. It was back in 2003 when artist Jennifer Armour allegedly sent a demo of her song Got a Little Bit of Love for You to Beyoncé's record label, Columbia Records. A few months later, she heard Baby Boy on the radio and thought the song sounded awfully familiar. She filed a lawsuit, but ultimately lost because she couldn't prove to the judge that Bey physically heard her song first. Fans also found out that If I Were a Boy was allegedly stolen from BC Jean, a debut artist. She was given songwriting credits on the album, however, the song being on the album was a complete surprise to her. This ballad from Beyoncé's I Am, Sasha Fierce, was written by BC Jean, who was inspired by the idea after a recent breakup. After writing the song with producer Toby Gad, she started shopping the song to labels as her lead single. However, once Beyoncé's team got a sniff of it, they decided to let Ms. Carter record her own version. BC was credited as the songwriter, which was bizarre to her considering she didn't intend for anyone else to sing the song. It's an amazing compliment, but I was like, that's great, but it's going to be on my album, she said in 2011. And it can be on my album too, I just didn't realize how it worked. Sounds like she didn't even realize her song was being poached. There's also that time when Neo said he wrote 100% of the song Irreplaceable, which Beyoncé gave herself writing credits for. She also claimed to have written the song in an interview with Marie Claire magazine. She had lied about writing Irreplaceable. Back in 2008, she actually came under fire when she told an audience at a concert that she wrote Irreplaceable for fellow women, except she didn't write it, Neo did. I honestly wrote that song for myself, he said in 2011. However, a man singing it comes across a little bit misogynistic, a little bit mean. Although Bey didn't write it, Neo said he had no problem letting her take songwriting credit because she put her own spin on it.
Beyoncé's Irreplaceable. I honestly and truly wrote that song for myself.
The public has claimed that she didn't start yesterday and that ever since her Destiny's Child days, Beyoncé has been accused of stealing songwriting credits for songs she didn't write, lifting choreography from dancers without permission, and even straight up jacking songs from struggling artists, and then paying a settlement fee to shut them up. Producer Terrence T-Robb Robinson filed a $200 million lawsuit against Destiny's Child for stealing his song Glorious, which he produced back in 2000. He showed the song to Bey's father manager, Mathew Knowles, expecting the song to kickstart his career. Mathew disappeared with the song, and months later, Survivor was born without Terrence's name or credit. I know right now I would be one of the biggest, most sought-after producers, he said at a news conference about the alleged theft. It's unclear what became of the suit, so it was probably settled out of court. Beyoncé was also accused of lifting inspiration from Belgian choreographer Anne Teresa de Keersmaker for her Countdown. Fans made side-by-side comparison videos to illustrate exactly how much was copied. Beyoncé later admitted that the video was meant to be an homage. Clearly, the ballet Rosas Danced Rosas was one of many references for my video Countdown, Beyoncé said in a statement to the New York Times. It was one of the inspirations used to bring the feel and look of the song to life. Anne still wasn't happy about it and expected Bey's team to at least give her a heads up instead of directly stealing her work as an homage. There are protocols and consequences to such actions, and I can't imagine Beyoncé and her team are not aware of it, she said at the time. Bey also allegedly stole dance moves for her Formation World Tour. Dancer and choreographer Marlene Oritz called Bey out for stealing dance moves from her troupe's show, De La Guarda. She took her grievances to social media, where she wrote in a lengthy Instagram post that, while inspiration is nice, she and her struggling colleagues would at least like a little credit. Beyoncé, you have the nerve to steal exact concepts and choreography from other real creative geniuses. You stole from a breaking surface. You stole the stomping from De La Guarda a Fuerza Brutanic. It's okay to be inspired, but at least make the effort to make it your own. Crazy in Love was easily one of the best pop tracks of the 2000s, and according to Beyoncé, the song was the product of a genius collaboration between herself and producer Rich Harrison. "The song came from me actually looking crazy one day in the studio," Beyoncé said at the time. "I said, I'm looking crazy right now. And Rich Harrison, the producer, was like, that's the song. But that's allegedly not how it went, and that she had lied yet again about writing her own songs." According to the producer Rich, after he played a sample of the track for Beyoncé, she then told him, "I love the idea. Now write the song. I'll be back in 2 hours." Although he was hungover, he managed to write the full song and play all the instruments before Bey got back. The only thing she wrote was the bridge, which is hardly the same as well, writing the whole song. And it doesn't end there. She copied her 2011 Billboard Music Awards performance from an Italian pop star. In 2011, after the disappointing success of 4, Beyoncé had more drama on her hands, particularly pertaining her eye-catching performance of Run the World at the Billboard Music Awards. Famous stars who attended the event were showering her with praise, but it would soon be revealed that she actually stole it. As cutting-edge as it all looked, the performance and choreography was actually taken directly from Italian pop star Lorella Cuccarini. After backlash, Bey decided to fess up. "My makeup artist showed me the performance of Lorella Cuccarini a year ago, and it inspired me so much," she said in an interview. Bey also lied about the Stevie Nicks sample in Bootylicious being her idea. That famous guitar riff from Stevie Nicks' Edge of 17 was sampled heavily in this track, and according to Beyoncé, it was her idea to use it. "It was 2000 and we were on our way to Japan," she said in her I Am Yours DVD, "and I came across this Stevie Nicks song. Something about this guitar riff reminded me of a voluptuous woman, and I said, I am gonna write a song to celebrate a woman's curves." Except using the sample wasn't her idea. It was producer Rob Fusari's, and he wasn't happy about Bey running around town taking credit. When he saw her on Barbara Walters lying about her involvement on the track again, he had enough. "I called Mathew, which was a big mistake," he told Billboard. "I called Mathew and said, Mathew, like why?" He explained to me, in a nice way, he said, "People don't want to hear about Rob Fusari, producer from Livingston, NJ. No offense, but that's not what sells records. What sells records is people believing that the artist is everything. Scary, right?" But Mathew's words had some truths in it, considering the fact that the accusations have been hovering around Beyoncé for years, and she has never really been held accountable. Some say it's because she allegedly learned from the best, her husband, who by the way has had the same rumors of stealing from artists and finding ways to either silence them or pay them off. In an interview on The Gwads show, the Rockefeller Records co-founder made a number of allegations about his former friend and business partner. Jay had a pattern of jacking N-Gas records, Dame said while discussing Cameron's decision to delete Hov's verse from Oh Boy. Jay has a record of getting on a record after it gets hot, and now he can perform that record. And now it sounds like he made that record. That was his model. That's effed up to the person that made the song. He claimed that Jay Allegefly extorts music from other artists like J. Rule's record Can I Get a... was actually J. Rule's record. I'm a Hustler, baby. I Just Wanna Love You was Emilio Sparks' record, and that's the only reason why Sparks was on there was because it was his record. But Jay-Z jumped on the songs and claimed them as his. After an unreleased Nas track dissing Tupac was unearthed recently, many rap historians and critics revisited the battle for New York City rap supremacy, in which Nas was a contender during the late 90s and early aughts. In addition to Nas, the other key players were Jay-Z and DMX, who also had their own subtle rivalry dating back to their mid-90s rhyme war in a Bronx pool hall. Now, a 2001 Nas interview with Felon magazine has resurfaced and is shedding new light on one of the most creative and competitive eras in hip-hop's history. Ahead of the release of his highly anticipated album Stillmatic, and at the height of the Queensbridge rapper's monumental with Jay, Nas circled back with the outlet after initially declining to discuss the conflict, saying, "You know what? I want to talk about this with Jay-Z. Felon is a street magazine, and I f**ks with the street magazines. It's only right that I keep it real with the streets." Esco went on to allege that during a party thrown by Steve Stout around 2000, Hav said that he was a superior MC to the late, the notorious Biggie, and that DMX and Tupac only appealed to starving street. This surprised the public considering the fact that Jay-Z has actively over the years lifted inspiration from Biggie's songs. When asked about the root of his feud with Jay-Z, Nas speculated that it could be a number of things, but said that Hav needs to let it go. I don't know. I don't know if it's over a B. I don't know if it's over the joint I didn't do with him. I don't know if he's trying to show me. I told you so, meaning that he would be as successful or more successful as me. And if it's that, it shouldn't be, because I never told him that he wouldn't or that he couldn't. All I know is that something is really bothering him, and he needs to address it, release it, and get over it. Sometime back, Jay was met with other stealing allegation when the JasmineBrand.com also exclusively reported that Jay-Z was accused of being involved in a high-level music theft conspiracy, with the rapper-turned-mogul allegedly stealing a track from a demo given to him and handing it off to record label execs for the purpose of creating a hit song for an artist on their roster without ever paying the songwriter a dime or getting her permission to sample the track. A professional singer, songwriter, and musician named Elisa Apps filed a federal lawsuit against Universal Music Group, Island Records, and singer John Newman. She claimed that she had performed her music all over the country and was the original author of the 2004 song entitled Need to Know, which she had copyrighted a couple years later. The musician uploaded the song to YouTube in 2008 and made it available for sale online. She pointed out that she had performed at private parties for Gigi Hadid's dad, Muhammad, along with countless other shows, and that she had also been covered by MTV, Billboard, Glamour magazine, and graced the cover of OC Live magazine. The musician claimed she met with Jay-Z back in 2009 at the Sports Club LA, and the two had a long conversation, which ended with her giving him a copy of her song to listen to for his consideration and to engage in a potential business relationship. Then in January 2010, she met with the rapper again at Clive Davis's pre-Grammy celebration. She then handed Jay-Z another copy of her song. She says that the rapper runs Rock Nation, which is under the Universal Music umbrella. Apps believes that Jay-Z handed over the copy of her track to execs at Universal Music, who then handed it over to singer John Newman, who released a song entitled Love Me Again. The musician said Newman's song made him a household name, and she was screwed over by Jay-Z and UMG by not getting her permission to sample her track, nor have they paid her for the work. Apps filed suit against UMG and Island Records demanding damages for the copyright infringement, along with all profits made by the label, and Newton for the hit song along with attorney fees. A fan X, previously Twitter, said, "No one is believing a video where Ashanti says from her mouth, 'The truth?' But you won't believe a video Future evading is about Beyoncé stealing. Neo putting Beyoncé is her place for saying she wrote his song, If I Were a Boy, BC Jean, and Tiffany Red, Franklin theme song. Another said, somebody should tell Jay-Z there's a big difference between stealing lines and paying homage. 5 times Engie. What are your thoughts on Jay-Z and Beyoncé stealing other artists' music and ideas? And why do you think they always get away scot-free? Tell us your thoughts in the comments section. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.